before we get into the palette, this is my new headband for April. It has little gemmy lightning bolts on it, and it also has some gems that are supposed to look like raindrops. And the idea was the old saying of April showers bring May flowers, so this represents April showers. Welcome back to my Pan That palette. This is my third update for the year. I am working on the Dragon Fruit palette by Clionadh Cosmetics and Emily Violet Marie. And just a reminder, this is what my palette looked like last month. We were able to hit pan in Bubbles and also as well as Sweetened. And then this month I put a huge focus on Cactaceae and Dragonfly, which are the two green in the bottom row. And I also do have Effervescent currently in my Ancient Mythos project pan, which is the highlighter shade as well in the bottom row. I used this palette a whopping 28 times in the month of March, which is almost every single day, which is crazy. And so I definitely got a lot of numbers to share with you. Just a reminder, when I brought this palette in, it was 228.4 grams. Last month it was 225.8 grams, and this month it is 225.1 grams. So all of that means is that this past month I was able to use 0.7 gram of product, and overall so far I have used 3.3 gram of product. One downer note is that one of my goals is that I do like to no pan left behind every single month, and unfortunately I didn't hit that target this month. I did miss out on 2 shades, but I think we're doing okay. Now to get into the fun part. This is what my palette currently looks like this month. So as you can see, we were able to hit pan in Cactaceae as well as Dragonfly. And then the other difference you might not notice, because I don't think it picked up on camera last time, is that I did repress Effervescent. So unfortunately Effervescent broke, and anytime I would use it and get close to getting like pan or a nice like dip in it, it would crumble and break all over again. So I was just like, you know what, let's just take the plunge now, do it early and repress it, and hopefully we don't have that problem anymore. So to go over numbers, I was able to use Bubbles 17 times this month for a total of 58 times this project. Refresh I only touched once for a total of 13. Strawberry Pear I used 1 time for a total of 7. Dragontini I used 3 for a total of 12. Infusion I used once for a total of 9. I'm actually wearing that today on the inner portions of my eye. Hylocereus is the one that I unfortunately didn't use at all last month, so it's still at a total of 7. I also didn't use Sweetened at all, so it's still at a total of 14. I used Exotic 3 times for a total of 15, and then the shade I'm wearing on the outer corners of my eyes today is Prickly, and that one I used 2 times last month for a total of 11 so far. And then the big numbers. I used Cactaceae 26 times last month for a total of 36 times. With Dragonfly, we used it 16 times for a total of 23 times this project. And then for Fruit Fizz, I used it 1 time for a total of 13. And Effervescent, we're currently sitting at 15 times for the month of April for a total of 39 times. To go over how things are looking, because it doesn't always pick up on camera the best, Bubbles we did hit pan back in March after 39 uses. Refresh has a little bit of a baby dip kind of going on with it. Strawberry Pear, I would say, has just enough dip in it that the embossment that was on top is really no longer visible. Dragontini has a slight more dip than Strawberry Pear does, so there's no remnants of the embossing at all, but it's not really a dip. Same with Infusion, the embossing is gone and it has just like this tiny little like dip to it. Hylocereus actually has a pretty decent dip going on in it, and if I focused on it, I think I could hit pan on it this month. Sweetened we hit pan on back in March after 14 uses. It did have previous use because I did bring it into my Ancient Mythos project pan back in November. Exotic has a pretty decent dip on it as well, which again, if I'd focus on it, we probably could hit pan on it. Prickly has the tiniest little dip on it. I would say it's borderline between calling it a dip and just kind of like a little concave from getting the embossment off. Cactaceae, we did hit pan on it this month after 30 uses, which is exciting. Dragonfly we hit pan on this month after 21 uses. Fruit Fizz has a little bit of a dip going on, and then any progress I made with Effervescent unfortunately is gone because I did end up repressing it. I did create a couple of looks this month, some good, some not so good, but that's the whole point of makeup, is that you play around, have fun, and try things out. So the first thing I did was attempt a halo eye with Effervescent, and it wasn't my favorite. I also did bring it down to the lower lash line, which I think I didn't really like at all. I think I like more of just like a solid color on my lower lash line. So I did a second attempt with it. This time I didn't bring it down to my lower lash line, and I also incorporated a little bit of a darker green into it, but I don't really think it turned out that much different. For a third look, I did do a dark halo eye with glitter, and I don't think it looks like a halo eye at all. It really ended up just kind of looking like dark shade all over with glitter. So we tried. I don't think halo eyes are for me, let's just put it that way. And then the last one I did was a multichrome green with some blue mascara, and I wasn't really the biggest fan of how this one turns out, but I also don't think I'm a huge fan of multichromes. It's kind of a gamble when you take pictures with them. Sometimes they look great, sometimes it looks like you didn't even put eyeshadow on at all, but when you look in the mirror it's like caked on there. So it's really a gamble with how they end up in the photos, so I'm not really a big fan of them when it comes to taking pictures with them. I did want to go over some goals for the month of April. Unlike March, I'm not going to like dedicate myself to 2 colors, so that, you know, I think I kind of overdid the green in March, and I was just like, I'm so happy to have a break from it. Like, I think the colors are beautiful in here, but it's just like 28 days of green was just too many days of green. So I think this upcoming month I'm going to give myself a little bit of a variety, and I'm going to focus on Hylocereus, Exotic, and Prickly. The reason I'm going with that is because they are the more kind of like stormy, grungy colors in the palette, and I think they'd work well with the headband. So I did go through my collection, and I found, like, I'm gonna try and stick to the palette obviously itself, but I did put together like a little kind of palette of purples and pinks to go with it, just in case I start needing a little bit of variety and wanting to incorporate outside shades. So that is my update for Project Pan this month. I am really happy. To be quite honest, when I hit pan in Dragonfly, at first I was initially kind of like, where's the pan in Cactaceae? Like, why is it taking so long? Because it did take up a little bit longer to hit pan in that one than it did in Dragonfly. So I was just like, come on, I know you can do it. I don't want to finish this month with just 1 pan in green. I've worked too hard with my green looks to not hit pan in both. So super excited to make progress in both shades. Hopefully we can focus on Hylocereus, Exotic, and Prickly this month and at least get a pan in one of them. That would be really nice. If not, some pretty decent dips are probably going to be around for next month. But we're going to have to wait until then to actually see what happens. So thank you for checking in with me today, and until the next one, I hope the day treats you well. Bye!